Are you stuck inside with coronavirus quarantining? Well, I am too. But I'm going to go outside for a ride all by myself. But I thought this might be a good time to talk about some spring weather prep tools and tactics that I use so that I can get outside and do the miles even though the weather's kind of crappy, because I don't want to spend days and days and days indoors. So I'm going to figure out some way to get outside, which makes me focus on these little things I've picked up over time. So if you want some tips on riding outside in the spring weather, stay tuned to this video and we'll get into them. All right, race fam, let's start with an easy one. I'm going to start with my favorite weather app because on a day like this, when it's cloudy, overcast, threatening for rain, I want to know a couple things. I want to know the temperature, I want to know precipitation, and I want to see radar. Dark Sky is the app that I use almost all the time for those things. Now, it's a really good app. It's a paid app. It's like $4 or $5 or whatever it is, but I really do like it because it combines everything into one easy to use user experience. So it's a really slick app for that. It has some update issues from time to time, just making sure that it has the most up-to-date information. So sometimes you have to refresh and make sure that your data is up to par. So every once in a great while, I'll double check it with Weather Underground or something like that. So what app do you use? I'm curious if there's a better one out there. The reason I also like Dark Sky is it does hyper-local precipitation. So this summer we were trapped in a number of races, not trapped, but we were doing a number of races. A couple of them during Tour of America's Dairyland got postponed or called off during mid-race. So you're just sitting there all mid-race, cold and hot and trying to figure out, should I eat, should I not eat? Well, the radar and the localized precipitation can show you like it's going to rain for the next 15 minutes. So really like that. All right, like I said, it is a gorgeous day for a ride, right? Didn't I say that? Beautiful. Overcast, 36 degrees. Just top quality. But, I think I'm going to have a lot of time indoors coming up soon, so I want to get out. And I've been inside all winter. It's time to get out. So, all right, if you have a cyclocross or gravel bike instead of a road bike, that is awesome for a couple reasons. One, you get a bigger tire, bigger contact patch. And so days like this where there could still be some ice under bridges or certainly some rough pavement after the winter, it's nice to have a little bit of extra meat underneath you. The other big thing with, oh boy, I had the brakes on. The other big thing with big tires are you're going slower for the same effort. But it doesn't really matter how fast I'm going, it's all about watts. And this bike, I'm lucky enough to have a wattometer on it, so I can get my workout done at a slower pace, which is going to give me a lot less wind and hopefully not make me quite as cold. And it keeps my route shorter, so if I do have a problem and I have to call my wife to come pick me up, hopefully she doesn't have to drive as far. Water. Man, with regard to the training, this has turned out to be a lot harder than I was hoping. Holy smokes. I think that basement bike, I gotta switch out. That geometry is good for that, but I gotta get on my real bikes. Woo! Friends, I don't have long to stop. I still have one more interval to go. Golly, this is harder than I wanted it to be. So here's a tip. When it's cold and crappy and nasty out, go ride your bike. You should. And you're gonna find things that are wrong with it from last fall or spring or whenever you rode it last summer. So I have a rubbing brake. So I'm gonna drop it off here at the shop while the weather's crappy before they get busy for spring. And since we're all in quarantine, it is a great way to support local business, so I can drop it off at the front door and run away, and then they can fix it, and I can pick it up and wipe it down with Clorox, and then I'll have my bike back and it'll work right. I like that. Okay, last interval. As you can tell, today is a totally different day. It's the next day, and I had a little bit in there about trying to learn how to do bunny hops as a spring skill to work on, because there are a crap ton of new potholes that were not there last summer that are definitely there now. So I found a bunch of them yesterday, but per usual, GoPro is kind of a piece of junk. So my GoPro camera froze up. You would think, like, just quick side note on GoPro, like their only job for a lot of years has been to make good cameras. Anyway, yeah, so I'm going to try to teach someone in my family how to get over a curb, and that is really the first step to bunny hopping. So the goal here is you want to unweight the front wheel of the bike, lean back, pop the front wheel up, and you start off with a little challenge, and then you grow, and eventually you can get over a curb slowly, and then eventually you can go quickly, and that is how you do bunny hops. Another side skill of this curb hopping thing is that every race you go to, you will see people going off the curb and on the curb while they're waiting for the race, not during the race. All right, first I'm just gonna play this footage a few times. So you pop the front wheel up, and then you throw your weight forward to bring the back wheel up. So throw your weight back, pop, and throw your weight forward, pop, to get the back wheel up. Pop, pop. It's a 1-2 kind of punch with your weight. Weight back, weight forward, like rocking and rolling. All right, let's see if we can get someone who has absolutely no idea how to do this started up. So we got Mom out. You can see we got a little bit to work on. So the tip that seemed to resonate the most with Mom was to stand up going into the curb. Mom. She's seated for most of those first attempts, and then there you can see she starts standing up, and you can see some pretty dramatic improvement after she goes mudding. All right, now we're gonna get her to do it. So up and over, up and over. That's really how it works. Just get a pool noodle is perfect. So no consequence. Nice. Great way to start getting your front wheel in the air. 5 minutes of practicing and a huge improvement. If Mom kept working at it, she'd be hopping curbs in no time like a pro. Say for a little spring tip and whatever this phase of humanity we're going through is, I would stick with your workout program. I know it's hard to want to get that motivation to do that. It was for me today, but there's no way I would have ridden that hard or that far without the Trainerroad app on my Garmin telling me what to do. So there's some talk about not going hard on the bike to compromise your immune system. I mean, I'm not a doctor, but I think that's kind of dumb. So I'm going to continue to ride my bike because I think it's better for my mental health and my health overall. So that's what I'm going to do. Did you know the goal on this channel is to grow our sport, grow our knowledge, and grow our fitness? Hopefully I delivered that to you today. If so, please do subscribe. I'm going to try to put out a ton more content while we're all cooped up at home. And even if we're not cooped at home, hopefully the content's worth watching even if you're not cooped up at home. Okay, that's all I got. Okay, bye.